I've got a couple of tips I would recommend. First of all, especially with COVID in light, don't watch the 10 o'clock news. Because I found watching the 10 o'clock news got my head spinning, and trying to relax and switch off after that is really tricky. And I think COVID was one of the only times when I actually started having a bit of a sleep problem for a little while, and I realized it was because I was getting myself quite stressed out watching the 10 o'clock news before bed. And all this stuff rocketing around my head, and checking all these emails constantly from the NHS, and getting updates all the time. And I think you have to switch off from this stuff before bedtime, so that you allow yourself a bit of downtime, a bit of relaxation. So that's my first tip. And my second tip is just a simple breathing exercise, and it works a treat. If I'm woken up in the middle of the night by my kids and I have to go through and sort them out, or if, for example, I'm just struggling to get to sleep one night, then I just simply breathe very deeply in and out through my nose for long, slow, deep breaths. It doesn't really matter how you do it. Everybody has their own way of doing breathing exercises. You just do it a way that fits and suits you. And simply doing some deep breathing for a short period of time just allows you to drift off, I find.
And Alison, any top tips you might have there?
Yep, I'll go with two as well. I would say make sure that you've got a routine. So you're trying to go to bed, trying to get up at the same time every day. That's really quite important, especially in COVID times where people's sleep's all over the place. So people might want to try and sleep in at the weekend, but if you've got a problem, then certainly try to get up at the same time every day, try to go to bed at the same time every day. The other thing is, the big thing really is that it's don't panic if you're not sleeping. Sleep will come, and that's the one that people get into a real panic about, is worrying that this is going to be it. But really, sleep will come. It's like breathing; it happens. So that's would be my two tips.
I like that one, and I could see Michael was nodding in agreement with that. Michael, you got another tip in relation to what Alison was saying?
One of the things that's often really important, is it does kind of relate to that, is that people often get very obsessed about this idea that they have to fall asleep. And actually one of the things that we tend to work on, particularly with the older kids in our clinic, is that kind of concept of what you work on first of all is being awake less in bed, rather than actually trying to increase your sleep time. And that kind of trap that I think Alison was kind of alluding to there, as soon as you're lying in bed trying to get sleep and you just keep thinking about going to sleep, then actually it becomes very counterproductive quite quickly. So I think one of the things, in addition to all the things that everybody's said already, is that kind of idea about really trying to keep bed as just somewhere where you're sleeping. And if you're not sleeping, well, actually it's all right to get out of bed for a while and go and do something to distract yourself, and then go back and try again, and sleep will come. But yeah, the more that we kind of focus on the fact that we're not asleep, the more of a problem it becomes. And again, COVID amplified all of that as well. But yeah, I think that would be my addition.
Right, very great. And Andrew, you want to just finish off this round?
Yeah, I think I agree with all the points that amount to winding down. All of that's important, of course. I think I'd add something about light. I mean, you shouldn't be on your phone, arguably, just before bed, but if you are using devices, think about what filters you have on them. Are they on night mode and so on? And then in the morning, of course, make sure you get plenty of light to reinforce the waking. And the only other, and get out during the day. And the only other point, which kind of links maybe with what Michael was saying about, you need to go to bed at the right time, which is when you're sleepy. If you go to bed before you're sleepy, or because it's getting up time minus 8 hours, if you're not sleepy, you're not going to sleep, and you won't get to sleep quicker. So you need to go to bed at the right time for you, to catch the moment, if you like.